Well, welcome back, YouTube. Christ Kid here. So I'm going over Proverbs 26, and if you guys got cut off from that first part of Proverbs, I'm sorry. I'm just going to kick it up because I got these other guys on live. I'm trying to do all three at the same time. Well, I got the nice internet, so I'm on a promotional right now with Spectrum, and it's kind of cool. I think I get 300 megabits for what, 60 bucks, 55 bucks a month. It's about 60 maybe with taxes or something like that. Yeah, it's 50 bucks. So after that, it goes up to like 80, but it includes phone and everything too. So it's not just 300 megabits of the Wi-Fi, which is really fast because 100 megabytes is normal stuff. But I think I'm just going to keep it because I like being able to stream and use a whole bunch of different devices at the same time. I'd be using an iPad too, but I don't have my old one anymore, so it was going way too slow. Had to go. Don't answer it. Okay, so sending a message in the hand of a foolish person is like cutting off your feet or drinking something harmful. So in other words, it's foolishness, right? To send somebody, don't send an idiot to do. Don't send an idiot or a foolish person that you know is in their wrong or they just can't function. You know, if they're drinking all the time, you don't want to send them in the car to go do something. If all else fails, you go and lock up your store or whatever. They shouldn't be around you. But anyway, yeah. So don't send foolish people to do stuff. That's why it's good to establish good and positive relationships. So if you do own a business later on, you can bring on like true friends that you know that are honest. Now, will there be some that slip up? Most likely, yeah. They'll have their seasons. Are you to forgive them? Yeah. But you try to surround yourself with the best and most positive people you can that are Christian, or that God willing will be there soon enough. I wouldn't suggest like having somebody in your employment that isn't Christian, just because we're Christian and like we can hold them to that standard. So that's like the best standard to hold someone to. And if we got to deal with like seculars, and I'm not like guys, I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone else. I just made a better decision than atheists do, or whoever, because to me Christ is the only way, and He is the only way. It's not just to me; it's to a multitude of people. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, that's common sense. You know what I mean? You got Muslims and their numbers are going up, but they literally, I think they have some sort of scheme going on there, because if you grow up, supposedly if you're a Muslim and you're growing up in that country, you're supposed to have at least 8 kids. So of course their numbers are gonna like triple and all that stuff. But you also have the unconditional love, the forgiveness, this the stuff that just keeps on. The Holy Spirit keeps on and keeps on proving itself. And a lot of people don't look that far into Christianity. They just listen to what everybody else is saying, so they don't even give it a try. And or so and so, and they're kicked away because of some religious person somewhere saying that they were going to go to hell because they're acting this way or that way, or they never accept. They're just doing something, and that's not. I mean, I think we're in a season of literally killing religious and bringing in like faith. Religion is when you're literally pointing fingers and you're looking at people like, oh, I'm better than everybody else, and you got your nose stuck up like the Pharisees. They were about a religion. They were about a Jewish religion, and then they gave it a bad name because they were on top of that. They were just adding extra rules that they didn't even follow, so they were being hypocrites and so on and so forth. So that's religion for those that say, oh, what's your religion? I don't get mad at them because I know that from their perspective, that's just what you call it. For us, we're Christians, and that's our faith. It's not our religion; it's our faith. But back when I was back when I was just like an inexperienced Christian, my religion would be Christian also, and it is Christian, but it's not. I more relate to a faith thing. So it's kind of like saying knowledge compared to wisdom. Wisdom is going to be true knowledge, right? That, to me anyway, that's what it means. When you get wisdom, that's like godly. That's on a whole nother level. When you just get knowledge, it's kind of like down here with humans. It's not on a spiritual realm. It's not on a. It's not on a whole nother level. So that's what I'm. That's what I mean. You got religion, and then you got faith, and your faith and your soul. That's what really counts. So, saying a message in a hand. Okay. So verse 7, a proverb in the mouth of a fool. They're going over foolish people a lot in this. So I think God wants you to watch out for foolish people. Because there's a lot of foolish people. You just got to be careful of your company. The company you keep, the things you listen to, the books you read, the TV you watch. It's all motivators. You're like, no, I don't take the best lead dress. Yeah, I understand. But just make sure that you're strong enough to do that. Like if you're going to listen to this crap rap or whatever, it's not, I mean, you're like, no, it's not motivating me that right. I don't know. Like I thought the same way about when I was listening to Eminem. I loved his backbeat. I'm like, I don't pay attention to his words that much. Listen to that backbeat. But like subconsciously, you might be listening and you don't even know it. So just be aware of that. And be guarded. Like be prepared for when you are listening to that kind of music, or you have to listen to that kind of music, because wherever you're at or whatever, or you're watching that movie, or you're seeing these different things, or you're going to the beach, just be prepared, because we're in it, but we're not supposed to be of it. So just be prepared. And the more you hang out with something, the more you're about it, eventually, the guard's probably going to get down, because your body's going to get comfortable being around that thing, and then it's going to get back into the same crap. So just don't give it reason. If you got to be around something, be around it, but you be the light. Don't get caught up in the darkness. The light outweighs the darkness. It lightens up the room, and say, hey, this is what I'm about. You can be about it too. Not, I don't have no real reason to be hanging out with you. I'm to love you, I'm to forgive you, but it doesn't mean I got to be about the same things you're about. So your life and my life are two different walks, and you're not trying to change. So I can be the better motivation. I can work with you. I can be your friend, but or your acquaintance, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, if you ain't going to harp on board with the Lord, then I don't have no business being around you, because you're becoming a cancer to me in my walk when you do that. Like, well, you got to be stronger than that. I offered it. It's not their time. It might be through another seed that they come to know the Lord. I don't know. But obviously it's not through me. And if I keep on hanging out with that and I'm not strong, or that I'm like, if you hang out with a drunkard, you're trying to get them better, but you've had issues in the past with drinking, and you keep on hanging out with them even when they're not, they're it's just not their time. And eventually it's going to just start easing its way on in. See, the light just opens up. The darkness, it's like a little snake. It just slithers right on in there. It gets you at your like a little weak point. Then it goes in there. And it will make you, like, they call you a chicken or something. Make you do certain things you want to do, because hey, ain't nobody going to call you chicken, right? You're going to be proud. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. You're going to let your pride allow you to go into the darkness again. That ain't no good. It get you back into that crap. Maybe even killed. It just all depends. There's a motivational speaker that brought up a thing like that. Like, I ain't no chicken though. So he was a getaway driver for a bank robbery or something. Got shot in the head because the owner came out. Not a bank robbery, a shop robbery. Owner came out and fire ablaze and caught one right in the dome because he was stubborn. Because I ain't no chicken. I ain't gonna be played like that. Nah. But that pride. See, we gotta be above that. We gotta be like, okay, they're trying to get us here, and just be prepared. Like we don't have to stoop down to that level. Once again, like, I know I'm making it sound like we are kings and queens amongst humans, but we're not supposed to be prideful. We're supposed to be confident in the Lord that we have, and confident in Jesus and the Holy Spirit that's in us. So, yeah, just be aware of that. Be aware of the people that you're around and the influence that they have on you. You got to be the better and bigger influence. Because once again, it's not us personally. It's the Christ that's in us. It's the God that's in us, right? And the light far outweighs the darkness. God allows Satan to be the ruler of the air. He allows it, but that doesn't mean you got to be of it. He allows it, but it doesn't mean you got to be of it. There's going to be temptations. There's going to be traps. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. You got to have enough wisdom, enough knowledge, enough common sense to say, no, I go this way. I know I'm going to slip up again. I know I'm going to go through a struggle. I know I'm going to go through another valley. I got to just keep on climbing. And climbing's not easy. It's not easy to go up, like climbing literally, but going like in your personal walk, it's not easy. But anything that's too easy is not worthwhile anyway. That's why when people are like, how you doing? Well, I'm struggling, but I'm staying the course. I'm staying the course. Me and the Lord. Okay. A proverb in the mouth, giving. Yep, already on 35 minutes, guys. My bad. A proverb in the mouth of a foolish person is like a disabled leg. That disabled legs that are useless. That's verse 7. So a proverb in foolish people's mouth is like disabled legs. They're useless, right? If I was just to sit here and literally read through this or make fun of it, then I think that would be proverb in a fool's mouth. Because when you're making fun of the Lord's word, first off, you don't want to go there. I mean, you gotta have more respect for the Lord. He's the Lord. He knows all. He's omni everything. He's everywhere. And I also put myself in I would never want my book to be made fun of. I'd be aware of it and be ready for it, but especially with the Lord, you just don't. I don't play around. I don't play around with God. He knows that when I'm in my sin, and that's about the greatest I do. And sometimes the promises that I make quickly, I can't fulfill. But as far as as far as making fun of His word or making fun of Him, that's no territory. You're literally asking. Now He's graceful and He's forgiving and all and what have you, but I don't want to give Him any reason to put me through any test that I'm not ready to be put through, or other things in life. So, yeah, that's another thing, guys. Just remember, from God it's a test, from Satan it's temptation, right? It makes sense to me because it really is. Like, let's say a hot-looking girl comes up to me and says, "Yo, let's have an orgy with me and my friends," and they're looking hot, and they're all these different nationalities and all that, and my flesh is like, once in a lifetime experience. Let's do this. But my soul and my Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit in me is like, you're gonna go back. You're gonna get back down the valley. You're gonna kill your witness. You're gonna be about this. You're gonna be about that. And you gotta climb all the way back up again. You gotta start all the way over again. You really want to do this again. You really want to have to start life over and over and over again, especially at your age. Come on, let's grow up here. Let's be about this walk. Let's do the female thing properly, or the male thing, or whatever it is in your case, and get married and then do those things. But yeah, it's gonna come at you. That's life, and Satan will hit you in your weak spot. He'll hit you in your temptation where you fall, where it was habitual sin. He'll hit that, especially when he's trying these other avenues and they don't work. And then he's all like, well, we can go back to this. We can get him back to the dirt from right here. Well, I know it. I know we can. Satan is he's a liar. He's a deceiver, and but he's very he's crafty in his lies. He understands how to try to get into a person through a certain door, through a certain avenue that's weaker than other parts. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it. If you're making a door in a wall or something like that, you're most likely going to see that big old hole in the wall first, and consider that rather than have to tear other parts of the wall, right? Because they're strong and they're sturdy, and then you see that hole and you're like, well, that's easier to use right there, right? So, but yeah, just be guarded and be aware of Satan's like tricks, especially if you've slipped up in a certain area. Be very careful of that. So, yeah, Giving honor to a foolish person, this is verse 8. Giving honor to a foolish person is like tying a stone in a slingshot. So once again, this is all about foolish people and how foolish it is to giving them honor, um, a proverb in the mouth of, um, sending messages through, answering with foolishness, um, in the wrong manner, and then answering it in the right manner. You want to answer it in the right manner and allow them to see how foolish they sound, and maybe reminding them that, hey, step it up a notch here. You're better than this. Anyone who hires a foolish person or someone who is passing by is like a person who shoots arrows at just anybody. So you're not shooting arrows at your enemy. You're just shooting them at anybody. You're just being a fool. And that's the same thing with hiring. And what I just said, what was I using the example for earlier? That's why I love when the Holy Spirit speaks through me, because when God's here, there's just so much more. There's so much more wisdom, and it might be like He answers it right here. Anyone who hires a foolish person or someone who is passing by, which you don't know them. That's why you literally. That's why I say hire good friends and people that are Christian and stuff like that, because they're set to a whole higher standard. You know what I mean? Especially if you know them to be Christians. There's some Christians out there going through seasons. They're baby Christians. They're just starting off. They haven't been to church in a while. Yada yada yada. And they might be in more worldly ways than a worldly person. So, yeah, just do your homework properly. That's what I say, and that's what I say about a whole bunch of things in life. But yeah, do your homework, and then hire the person that you trust and that you've been friends with forever, and that you might not be hang out with them every day, but you can call them up right now. They'd just be just as happy to hear from you now as they were back then, kind of thing. So those are the kind of people that I would trust around my finances, around my blessings, around my dreams, around my visions and stuff like that. I even said, like, my ex-girlfriend, we're not friends anymore, but it's for good reason. But I would trust her with a business in a heartbeat, just because I know her soul, I know her heart, and if anything, she'd have to look for me back in that time. But nowadays, she wouldn't have to. But yeah, you want to trust, of course, your wife or your girlfriend. That should be a given. If you can't trust them, then you got the wrong one. You got the wrong one. You can't trust your significant other or your kids or something like that. But anyway, you want to trust like friends that have been there and friends that are Christian and doing the right thing. Especially when you got finances going on. And of course, I would say keep cameras anyway. And it's not just for your coworkers. It's also for it's also for the people that come in and might rob the place. And I would say allow the coworkers to know where some cameras are, but also have some hide cameras. So just in case they're trying to pull something beyond you, then they won't know. They won't know any better. And if they do find one, they won't find the other. So I'd say at least have two. Cameras that they're not even aware that are there, right? Because if they're trying to pull something, they're going to look for the cameras to make sure they're not in view, but they didn't see the other one, right? So they got stuff like that on. I can't believe what was it called? Like, you can go on Amazon and stuff like that and find like alarm clock cameras. There's different ones, and of course you can do your own thing too. Put it in a shaving cream can, whatever's on the front counter. For me, I'm going to have art going on, so it can be in art somehow, like in an eye of an object or a teddy bear or something like that. But yeah, I always expect the unexpected when it goes. Prepare for the best, but I mean, expect the best. What is it? Take the best, leave the rest, right? But yeah, always be prepared. Always watch your back. Always be prepared. And if somebody says they're this, expect them to be that, but don't be surprised if they don't. Because once again, people aren't perfect, and you expect them to be on a higher standard and stuff. But if they're struggling, if they're in that season, then they need prayer, right? They need prayer and they need forgiveness, and they need you to understand these things rather than popping off and getting down on them just like anybody else. Love them. Put your arm around them and pray for them. And, just say, I've been there, or I understand. You just need to trust in the Lord and get closer with Him. You just start bringing drinks to these Bible studies. Get kind of dry sometimes. Right now I'm getting a little dry anyway. Anyone? Okay, so it's like a person who shoots arrows at just anybody. Verse 11, a foolish person who does the same foolish things again is like a dog that returns to where it has thrown up. You ever seen that? You ever seen a dog eat its own throat? It seems foolishness, does, and it is foolish. But they're like, ooh, food. They don't they don't see the concept of that's used food and it's thrown up, it's regurgitated, it's disgusting. But we do it with our sin all the time. I'm guilty. I've done it before. Just return back to your same sin, especially the habitual stuff. You know it's wrong, you still do it because it gives you ease, right? It gives you ease. You go back, you can sleep. I know it. I've been there. But you just got to rise up. You got to go through that season. You got to go through that season of sleepless nights. You just pray about stuff, and just know that it's not how we do things. It's just not how we walk in life. We're supposed to be about other things and better things, right? So other ways of life. Me. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks when you're like I don't, man, I don't want to though, and it's not because not only do I not feel like it, it kind of destroys my witness when I bring up a bad example of myself, right? A lot of people will forgive me, but there'll be a lot of people that are on here that will point their finger and be like, I don't even know why I'm listening to you, man. You done screwed up this many times. Now the right people, they're gonna forgive me, but the ones that need to hear the gospel and stuff, they're not gonna see it that way. They're gonna be like, I don't even know why I'm listening to you, man. You're just like the rest of them. So in that case, I'm gonna keep it shut. But just know that I go through struggles too, and I've been gone through many a sleepless night, and then gone back to the same habitual sin and had to deal with the same thing again, just in order, like, and sometimes I'd just be like, screw it, I'll take this part out and I'll just do this part, but at least I'll get that ease. And then you'll try to rationalize, oh, God knows what I'm going through, all that stuff. No, bro, you get through with it and be done with it. Like, just, it's going to kill you slowly. Like, this life is only, it's like that. And I didn't understand that as a kid. And I'm like, I'm still, as an adult, I'm still going through that because I still feel like a kid, but I'm not getting any younger. I'm not married. I didn't. I always thought when I was stupid, I was smart about it as far as like having sex with my girlfriends or what have you. And my girlfriends are girls or whatnot that I knew, but at least I wore protection kind of thing. But that's not justifying. It's not proper. Like I shouldn't be doing that. I'm a Christian, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm struggling in this area though. You can have everything, but not this. No, God wants it all, man. And why don't you want to allow God to be in your all everything? Because when He's in everything, He's going to bless everything, right? It all comes together. And we also see things as blessings where before it was just it's whatever, it's just like I got that, but I'm not really content. I'm not really content until I get this. The difference is we can be content even though we can strive to be higher and get better things and do better things and be blessed in different areas. But we're just happy with what we have, right? So I can be like, dang, I know I got this, but I can go to Dollar Tree and get a no. Now it drives me crazy when I'm going through stuff and I can't find it for a while, but that's my own fault too. I should be more organized with my drawers and stuff of that nature, like make little cubby holes and stuff, and get stuff more organized. Because I'm literally like a Radio Shack or a craft shop. I got stuff off the ink. It's just all over the place, and sometimes I get impatient and stress out because I can't find it right away. It's not quick, right? And that's the anxiety. Be anxious for nothing, but in all things seek the Lord, and He will. There's something like that. I know He will guide you or something. I gotta remember that verse because anxiety is definitely an issue. I had a coworker yesterday, and everything was speeding up. They were going beast mode, right? We gotta have this trailer out in 10 minutes. And I'm just like, I'm there, and I've been through this before. I said, no, I'm gonna stay calm and collected. I'm gonna speed up, but calm and collected. And I stay calm and collected because I worked with Amazon before where I went that, I got to that level. But I went so, I was going so fast and everything that my heart and the anxiety, it wasn't controlled. So I want to say I almost had a heart attack and I had to literally walk away. And this wasn't even, I think it was with somebody next to me. But see, you can't allow that to be a motivator. Like they'll try to boost you up, like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, guys. And I literally feel like looking at them like, dude, you're not the boss. And even if you were, I do me and you do you. And I understand you're trying to, boost us up and everything like that. But I'm not going slow here. And you don't need to be pushing me like that, stuff like that nature. But anyway, you got to be aware of people like that. Because they might be in their crap, right? And then they're trying to get you back into the crap and you to get to that level, and you get back to down to like mouthing off to them, and then regretting it, and then you got an awkward moment, so you got to talk to them or ask them to forgive you or what have you. I'm guilty of this. That's why I'm saying something, because I literally pop off sometimes, and I shouldn't. And then next thing you know, we hear about it at meetings and stuff like that. One girl I felt bad about, so I apologized to her. I made a comment about her nails, and she kind of went off the handle about them. But I don't understand why girls wear acrylic nails to work. But I didn't put myself in their shoes, right? They're women too, and they like to feel beautiful. So if they want to wear nails and they know how to handle objects, who am I to say otherwise? It's just from a guy's perspective. From my perspective, I'm like, why even try? You're just gonna break them, and you just spent how much money on them? But if they got it down to a T and they got it controlled to where they can handle boxes with them on and not break them, then hey, so be it. So I'm not, like I said, that's why I apologize, because I didn't see it. I didn't try to see it on their thing. It was just like it's not. It doesn't make much sense from my point of view. But from theirs, they might they might have it down to a T where they can do it, and it ain't no problem. There's a girl, beautiful, I work with. I don't think she's a believer. Her and her friend, little girl, she got braces and everything. But anyway, she's got 3 kids. She's 23, but she's beautiful, and she's got these nails she's always coming in with, and they're beautiful too. They got like little tacks on everything, and somehow I guess she doesn't get them broken. But at first, I'm looking at it like, why are you in this profession with those kind of nails on? And I've thought about that ever since I worked with Amazon before and stuff, and other warehouses. But okay, a foolish person who does the same foolish things again, habitual sin, is like a dog that returns to where it has thrown up. That is Proverbs 26:11. That might be a good witnessing tool right there, because it's true, especially with Christians or people in the walk. Satan tempts them in that certain weak point in the wall, that weak point in life, and that's the bullseye, right? And it's a big bullseye because it's easy to hit. Like, oh, okay, we failed in all these other areas, so you know we're gonna go for the face now. We're gonna go for the heart. Do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a foolish person than for him. So you don't want to be hanging out with people that are really prideful. You see a man who is wise in his own eyes. If someone's wise, they're going to let other people tell them they're wise. They're not going to boast about themselves and say, look at me, look at what I've done, this, that, and the other. No, if you want to congratulate yourself, do it in your own time, on your own money. Like if I reached a new high, or I reached a new quota, or I made a certain rate, or I've got a lead position or something like that. Maybe allow somebody else to bring up the idea, hey, let's go celebrate, rather than you saying, yo, let's go celebrate my victory. Now, if it's a once in a lifetime thing, it might be okay. But if it's just something that you're bragging about all the time, it's no good, right? And something like that, I would probably say, hey, you guys want to celebrate with me, or if they don't, I would celebrate on my own, because when I'm feeling good, I want to be able to go out, have some pizza and stuff, and celebrate a good time, a victory well done. And you've got to do that for yourself once in a while too, because if you don't, your body and your mind are going to be like, what's the point? I mean, you do all these good things, and when I'm bad, you punish me, but when I'm good, you don't do anything. What's up with that? So that's why I even tell companies, like, the one we're with now, like, where's the incentive? If we move up to manager and everything, what else are we going to get besides experience? Are we just going to get a 50-cent raise, or are you going to give us a like a $5 raise or something? I mean, where's the incentive there? And don't get me wrong, there's perks to moving up. I have yet to find them out because I haven't yet moved up in my later age, but it's that time. So God willing, I get there soon, and I feel like it's like I'm ready. You know what I mean? I feel like even though it's happening later on in life, and I didn't jump at the opportunity when I was younger, I feel like I'm past you, and I'm ready to be in management and just be able to be a leader and a teacher, because I know that I'm in the right mindset now to teach properly. I'm not going to try to tell people how to do shortcuts or whatever. I'm going to be like, no, you need to put in the legwork, and if this is a shortcut that isn't like causing harm or doing some, yeah, I'll let you know about it. But if it's going to cause harm in the long run, it's not. We don't do that. We just find out the natural way, the good way to do something, and we get accuracy and then speed. So you get accurate at it, and then you get quicker at it. That's just how it works. Uh, yeah. So, do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? So don't be prideful. A person who doesn't, and let other people tell you about your accomplishments. Don't bring it up. Like, same thing with the guy at the table again. Don't go up to the front table and tell the king, allow the king to say, "You clown, get back to your old seat." No, let the king bring you up there. Hey man, been doing an awesome job. Or hey lady, you've been doing a great job. Come on up here, share the table with me. Let's conversate a little bit, find out your future, see what we can do for you, because you've done proven yourself. You say, man, who? Okay, so verse 13: a person who doesn't want to work says, "There is a lion in the road. There's an angry lion wandering in the streets." So, lazy person is always going to have excuses. Verse 14: a person who doesn't want to work turns over in bed. And this is like repeating about lazy people. So, that's something to look at too. A person who doesn't want to work turns over in bed, just like a door that swings back and forth. So they turn over back. They're like in bed for a long time. They're just like a door that goes back and forth. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Okay. Verse 15, a person who doesn't want to work leaves his hand in the dish. He acts as if a person who's so lazy, he leaves his hand in the dish. He acts as if he is too tired to bring it back up to his mouth. Now that's lazy. I mean, you're there. Just imagine you're like a king or something, and you got a whole bunch of money, and you're there. You're just just eating it. You're like, you're so full and you're so lazy, you can't even bring it back to your mouth. You like fall asleep with the hand in the dish. That's bad. Yeah, you don't want to get to that point. And a lot of times, I think when we're going through a bad time, we just decide to go to the refrigerator and attack it. I guess. Okay, so Instagram cut me off, and with good reason. It's almost an hour. It was an hour. So let me share that real quick. But that's just motivation to hurry up with my lives. So Facebook is still allowing me to do a live, and my YouTube's still on, but it's halfway cut off. So with Facebook, it's been an hour, and it just hit an hour. So I need to get it down to where it's 30 minutes. I appreciate you guys still hanging out with me, though. Do you see? Okay, so a person who doesn't want to work. Okay, a person who doesn't want to work turns over his bed. So these are all on lazy people right here. You got like 13 through 15 so far. So 16, a person who doesn't want to work. Here it is again. This is 4 verses on it. Okay, so you got 4 verses on it, so it's important, right? Especially when it repeats and stuff like that. So a person who doesn't want to work is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who give careful answers. So once again, they're prideful, they're stubborn, they don't want to hear other people's opinions. I've been there before. I'm like, yeah, and I just let them talk, but I'm not. I'm listening, but I'm not hearing. You know what I mean? Or I'm hearing, but I'm not listening. So just be be aware of that, and don't be so proud that you can't see where other people are coming from. But yeah, don't be so quick to say, they don't know this crap better than me. I've been doing it for 30 years or whatever. Now, if they are wrong after because they've only done it for like a month and they think they have a better idea, you're like, that's great, but I've been doing this for this long, and that would actually lead to this because you've already been down that road. So don't get okay. So verse 17, don't get mixed up in someone else's fight as you are passing by. That's like picking a dog up by its ears. Don't get mixed up in someone else's fight as you are passing by. That's like picking a dog up by its ears. So don't go in the middle of a fight and start fighting too. If you try to stop them, just try to talk to them, but don't. It's like, yeah, dogs are fighting, or there's a pissed off dog. Try to pick them up by the ears. You're adding fuel to the fire. So don't do that. Come in with a calm and easy spirit and say, "Yo, let's talk this out. Knock this childish bullcrap off, or you guys are gonna get kicked out or whatever." Some people like that though. They're the mosh pit kind. Nah, give me the rowdy. I'm ready. I need it every once in a while. I need to get knocked around. So don't get mixed up in someone else's fight as you are passing by. It's like picking up a dog by its ears. I know cats, man. Sometimes they're just in a bad mood. They got personality out the gang. I was at the animal shelter the other day. I saw this pug mix. I'm like, that's cool. But I went into the cats, and some of those cats were so pissed off they were in there looking. They were hissing at me. And I'm like, dude, I didn't do nothing to you, but I guess they were just cranky or something happened with them. But they got some personality. And with them, I definitely, especially with mad cats like that, can't touch them. I'll have an animal in here before long, guys. I just got to get my finances going. I'll probably have a dog. I had a cat in here before, but it kept on meowing. So I don't know. My buddy Isaiah, he's got two cats, two male cats, and he seems to be doing okay with them. It's just with cats. I know a lot of people are like, ew, that's disgusting. I already went over time, guys, so I'm just going to kind of elaborate a little bit and stay here. But yeah, with a cat, I'm like, or any animal, I'm like, okay, maybe a skinless or like a hairless one would be good. But after thinking about it, I'm like, nah, it'd probably be pretty disgusting. You can't pet them right. You don't feel the fur. So it kind of defeats the purpose of that. But I don't know if you're kind of like Dr. Evil and you like cats like that, whatever. But the only good thing about that area is you wouldn't have to bathe them as much, and you wouldn't have to worry about hair all over the house. But at the same time, you'd probably have to worry about them getting cold and more rashes and stuff popping up. So us humans, we still have hair, we just don't have as much. Well, it depends on who you are, but yeah, we're not covered in fur. So, and thank God for it, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess females would still be attractive covered in hair, but not nearly as much. You see them with too much hair now, even with armpit hair. I'm looking like, can you shave that or do something? That's not very female-like. If they got a mustache or they got a beard going, you're like, no, it's not appealing at all. You might as well be smoking cigarettes or having a whole bunch of tattoos and crap. And like I said, to each their own, but I don't like too many tattoos. I don't like girls smoking. And I don't like when they don't take care of their hair things. And a lot of, yeah, so get that crap waxed or something. But that's just me. To each their own, right? So that's just where I look at it. Some people, they might like that or they're like okay with it or whatever. But if you love your lady, then you'll be honest with them without hurting her feelings. Or your man or whatever. You don't like a beard, let them know. You don't like bad breath, let them know. And they'll be thanking you anyway later because other people will be thinking the same thing, but they just won't be saying anything. You have to trust in your loved one to be honest with you, right? You can't get hurt by it. You just got to be like, okay, I need to work on this area for myself and for others as well. My brother used to say, oh, breath, bro, it's like bad. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Now I don't have nobody to say nothing to me, but I take care of my teeth pretty good. So I need to get back into flossing, but I do mouthwash and I brush twice a day. So I take pretty good care of them. But I used to be on um, flossing before I went to bed, right? Yeah. So I went flossing before. How did I do it? I had a system about it. I floss, I did mouthwash, and then I brushed my teeth. Yeah. And I think that the reason I did it that way is because some lady at the dentist sometime somewhere said that no, you want whatever you're brushing your teeth with to stay in your mouth. So hopefully by the time you floss, all that crap's mainly broken apart. But to me, it would make more sense to floss, brush, and then do mouthwash because it's getting all that crap out, right? But yeah, she's all like, no, you want the Colgate or whatever, and the mouthwash kind of takes that out, but you're still getting good chemical in there because mouthwash is made out of stuff that clears up your mouth too. So I still think I would go back to that. I think, you do the floss, you do the brushing, and then you do the mouthwash. But I got to a point where I was doing it twice a day, but I really didn't need to. Flossing is a pain in the butt anyway. So I do it right before I go to bed. And that's just so stuff doesn't get stuck in between your teeth, become cavities, so on and so forth. Yeah, if you listen, I got good ideas or life wisdom, like life hacks as they call it nowadays as well. Um, let's get back on this Bible study. A person who doesn't want to work turns. Okay, so that was all on lazy people right there. Those four verses. I think 13 to 16. Yeah. Don't get mixed. This is verse 17. Don't get mixed up. And so, okay, so that was about the dog. 18. Suppose a crazy person shoots flaming arrows that can kill. Okay, so just when people are crazy, look out for them. Know that they're crazy. And believe me, I come across them. I was at the gym yesterday, and I'm like, you can tell this guy just wasn't quite right. So when he decided to get real close to me in the jacuzzi, I said, it's time to go, man. I know that sounds funny, but I was in the jacuzzi anyway for 10 minutes. If I really wanted to, I could have just moved. But yeah, I didn't have work the next day, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this a little bit. So I was in the jacuzzi for like 10 minutes. I did the sauna I hit 21 minutes on that, and then I think I'm gonna stop when I get to 30 minutes with the sauna, because that helps you lose weight there, water weight. A person who doesn't want, I think it's probably good to open up the pores too. That you do that when you're working out as well. But a person who doesn't want to work, okay, a person who doesn't, okay, that's all the verse 19. So 18 was suppose a crazy person shoots flaming arrows that can kill. That's it. There's no, and then 19 says a man who lies to his neighbor and says, I was only joking, is just like that person. Okay, so these two are to go together even though they're different. They're different verses. So suppose a crazy person shoots flaming arrows that can kill. A man who lies to his neighbor and says, I was only joking is just like that person. So if you're joking, allow it to be a joke, but don't be lying. That's not cool. Because you're killing your witness. You're killing the honesty of your neighbor and the trust that they have in you. When you're lying to them, they're like, well, I can't trust them with money. I can't trust them to keep their word, to watch my kids, to watch my house, to do this, to babysit, because they might just come up with something else later on. And just a friend actually, a friend of mine did that recently. We had planned to go to the gym, and all of a sudden, last minute, I don't think so, not today. I'm like, we already went over this. Now, do I forgive him? Of course I forgive him, but now I'm aware they do things like that. And the more that I'm like allowing myself to get pissed off, I'm getting pissed off. But so I just give them distance. They need advice or whatever, I'm here for them. But you know, it drives me kind of mad to be hanging out with people that don't like they keep on pushing buttons without even knowing they're pushing buttons. You know what I mean? They're doing stuff wrong that they don't even know they're really doing wrong. Even when you say something, it just goes in and out because they're so oblivious, just out there. They're zoned out. They're spaced out. I don't know if the elevator's ever gonna come. And I'm not. I'm just saying. You know, they're just not hearing. They're being foolish at that. And that sense. Can't tell them nothing, can't teach them anything because they're just stubborn in that sense. Okay, so that was 19. A man who lies to his neighbor and says, "I was only joking," is just like that person. They were just trying to push it off and act like it didn't happen. But people are smart. They know what's going on. If you don't have wood, your fire goes out. This is verse 20. If you don't talk about others, arguing dies down. Hey, so one equals the other, and so with one equals the other. So don't gossip. It means I see it all the time at work, all the time. I know who does it too, and I steer clear of. Do I adjust to people I'm working with? Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be a better example for them, and they get on board and they stop, having such a bad time because they're gossiping and they're nagging and whining, yada yada yada. And I'm like, you guys are horrible. And you figure, like a lot of them are older, and I'm like, well, now I know why they're older and they're working in a warehouse. And I'm older, I'm working in a warehouse, but it's just I'm in the same boat. Like I've allowed stuff to make me slip up, but yeah, so they keep on doing the gossip thing. So you just got to watch the traps. Satan sets out plenty of them, but if you're listening and you're close to the Holy Spirit, he's going to clear it up for you and say, "No, you don't want to step there. We got to tiptoe through here." Yada yada yada. So get closer to the Lord, and he'll secure the way. Pretty much, take all the traps out the way. You don't even have to tiptoe. You're like, nah, this is a lighted path. Dark path's over there. Okay, so if you don't have wood, your fire goes out. If you don't talk about others, arguing dies down. Yeah, so don't gossip. Don't put people down. If you do, this is important. This is very important. I learned this from a pastor. If you got something to say to somebody, go tell them. Go talk to them. If you can't tell them, then it's not that important. Let it go. Like oh, I'm just trying to vent. You just trying to vent bullcrap, man. If it's that important to you, go talk to them and get it out. Get it out and over with, and then be cool with them or whatever. But get it out there. Because all the gossiping say, oh, this person works like da da da, and it doesn't help out anybody. If you talk to them, they might literally not know that they're doing wrong there, and you're helping them out, right? So, yeah, go talk to them before you come to the pastor, before you go to your boss, before you go to HR, because, for instance, a person got on me. Now I wasn't supposed to have a speaker watch anyway, but I'm like, it's Christian music, whatever. It helps me not talk to other people, and it helps me not talk to other people, and then. Yeah, it's Christian music anyway, so it's good for everybody. I'm like, it's better than the rap stuff that people are playing. So they didn't come to talk to me. They went straight to HR. They skipped all that. They're like, nah, you're going straight to HR. Now, did I get pissed off? Yeah, because I'm like, if they would have came to me in a respectful manner, it'd be like, can you either turn that down or turn it off? Because, I just don't like that kind of music. I don't like rap. I listen to more country or what have you. I would have been like, sure. But I guess they looked at it like everybody's going to be a jerk or something like that and start gossiping or talking about them or something of that nature. But yeah, if you got a problem, then to go talk to that person about it. Don't start like, and then if they show you some attitude or then you go to higher ups and be like, okay, I talked to so and so, they brushed it off and they acted like it wasn't nothing. And they just kept on doing what they were doing, and it's starting to piss me off. And I want to lose my job, so I did what I was supposed to do. And in the military, it's called going up the chain of command, right? So if you got a problem with your third class, you want to talk to them on a one-on-one basis. You don't want to put it in a group because it's not in anybody else's business, it's just you and theirs. Plus, you ain't trying to embarrass them or anything. You just got to allow them to know that, hey, you might want to do a checkup here, and can you do this or that? And if they're like, yeah, whatever, and they just brush it off, or they say, no, I'm not doing that. They're like, okay, well, let's go see the manager. And then sometimes if they know you're about it, then they'll be like, all right, I guess I can do this. And it's not like you have control as an employee or whatever of them, but if they're doing something or a coworker is doing something that you're not, it's making an awkward work environment, and yeah, it needs to be talked about. So, supposing crazy person shoots flame arrows, a man who lies to to his neighbor and says, I was only joking, is just like that person. If you don't have, okay, coal glows, wood burns, and a man who argues stirs up fights. Coal glows, wood burns, and a man who argues stirs up fights. So this is another example of something that's just red hot, right? And a man who argues stirs up fights. So you're literally um, you're adding flame, fuel to the flame when you're arguing, right? So it's just that's why when we go out and witness to people, when we talk to people about Christ, we don't argue with them because their brain shuts down and they get in survival mode. They're not paying attention no more. They just want to fight. It's true. And I tell people that don't know that because I once in a while I have to catch myself. I had to catch myself with a coworker the other day because he just kept on. He just wasn't hearing me no more. You can tell people get big, they're ready to go, and it's like that's not what you meant. And it was just argument, and I'm right, you're wrong. They're just in survival mode, and it's all about they're right and they're not hearing you no more because you're not coming at them. You're not approaching the situation properly, and you just if they want to argue with you, be like, whatever, bro. I'll keep you in prayer, but if you want to listen to me, then we can talk. But otherwise, you're just going to argue and fight with me. I'm not going to be about it because I'm not going to stoop to that level. And just drop it. And of course, they might try to say, stoop to what level? Well, you better than me now. So they might try to start even, but just be like, nah, let's just change the subject. We don't need to talk about this if you're going to argue with me about it. If you're going to try to, fight. So yeah, don't argue. Coals glow, wood burns. Okay, and that's the last two verses too, right? So that's about arguing. Verse 22: the words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of food; they go deep down inside you. The words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of food; they go deep down inside you. The words of anyone who talks about others. So gossip, right? Words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of food. They go deep down inside you. So gossip, sometimes you're like, well, I remember this about that person. Beware. But it's all gossip, right? It's all hearsay. I've dealt with this tons in the warehouse, tons in the workplace. You'll hear this from that person, that from that person. Go to the source. Like, you hear so-and-so got fired. He's been coming in 10 minutes late every day. And you see him next week. You're like, wait a minute. Now I've been spreading the same cancer, and I didn't even know I was spreading lies because so-and-so said this, and now I thought that. So that's why I'm like, take it with a grain of salt, guys, and go to the source. Find out for yourself before you start spreading false information. I've had that happen a couple times to me because I'm just nonchalant and I believe people. I'm somewhat gullible, but yeah, just go straight to the people, go straight to the source, and be like, okay, what's going on here? Is so and so let go or what? Sometimes they'll be like, it's none of your business, or it's not really my place to say. In that case, then you can believe what you want, but I wouldn't spread it so easily, unless you get a whole bunch of different people saying like, yeah, no, they're gone. Like a guy that I worked with, his name was. What was his name? Older fella had one of those grips that they just squish your hand on it, and he was a Christian too, but he used to be into drugs, and you could tell he looked a lot older than he actually was. But anyway, I hadn't seen him for a while, and then he came back, and then after that, I still haven't seen him to this day, so I know he's gone now. But that's just self-explanatory, right? It's like, okay, you don't see somebody for a while, they found another job, or they quit, or they got fired. That's what it is. But the signs will tell. Words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of food. They go deep down inside you. So the gossip, sometimes you'll remember the gossip, but you can't remember verses in the Bible. This is my thing. I don't know if anybody else has this problem. I hate that I can remember like secular songs, but when it comes to Christian songs, I can't remember a beat. Like there are certain songs I can, like Amazing Grace and stuff like that, but these new jams that I'm like about, why don't they come to mind? You know what I mean? And I suppose as I get closer to the Lord, they will. But it just pisses me off. I'm like, so I can rehearse Lil Wayne, but I can't rehearse no Lecrae. What's up with that? So that's the case of like, I wish I wouldn't have listened to that crap from the get go. I'm just saying, just don't even go there. Like, take the best lead breath, but not in certain areas in life. It's just not worth it because subconsciously you're still taking in information. You're still like, oh, that's an awesome beat. Let me repeat the words too. The beat's nice, so the words are just coming, and the words are where the actual poison is. So yeah. They be doing some tricky stuff with music. I was told they even have some music that has like some words in the back that are like blended in, but I haven't literally heard any of that. I don't believe that I know of, but that's some pretty low stuff right there. You gotta seduce people like that. That's pretty bad. What's the word? Please, okay. 23. Warm words that come from an evil heart are like shiny paint on a clay pot. Warm words that come from an evil heart. This is so true. This is so. Warm words that come from an evil heart are like shiny paint on a clay pot. So they make it look all good. And this goes out to especially ladies because I see the traps, right? And I so want to tell them more, but I don't want to piss them off enough to where they cut me off completely. But they're making the choice not to follow the Lord too. They're atheists, so um, and they're drinking and they're about their stupor and all this stuff right now. So I'm like, they get caught up. It's in their own thing, but hopefully they got enough common sense in order to steer clear of those traps. Yeah, guys will tickle their ear, tickle the girl's ear, or whatever. They got kids. They'll listen to them, whatever. They'll make them laugh, get them all comfortable and everything. Knock them up, make them have more kids, and then leave. Act like they've never seen them before in their life. Happens all the time. Girls they want to go to a bar and have a good time, get their ease on or whatever. Guys doing the same thing. Knock up a chick that you didn't want to knock up. Next thing you know, you're having kids with this, and you're not really attracted to them, but it was just a drunken thing, just a fun thing. You wanted more feel, so you took the rubber off, right? Sorry, guys. I know I'm like explicit when I talk about women like this and all that stuff, but it's just because I've been through some of those parts of my life, and that's the lust areas where thank God I'm not infected or anything, but it's more where I've had a little bit more experience in life than other areas of my life, and not like some people have. Like I've never been in orgies or anything of that nature. I've never like had 10 girls in the same week kind of thing or some stuff like that. But I have my downfall has been in that area. So if I bring up examples for that, that's because that's just the old examples coming out to hopefully help the traps that are might be in your path for later on. Um, so yeah, they'll tickle the ear just to try to get them in bed, and if a girl's going to a bar, they're an open target, right? If you're going to a bar and you're not with a guy, then you might be there just to drink or whatever. But a lot of them, they're just like the guys are. They're there to get laid or whatever and be done with it. Like what's that called? No strings attached, like a one night stand or whatever, one and done. So, and to get more into the subject about that, I never got it because I was in the Navy, right? Man, I got wasted last night. I slept with this fine looking chick. I know she was fine, but I can't remember. Can't remember. And I'm like, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? You got with this chick that was banging, and she was really hot, and then you can't even remember it because you got so drunk and stupid. So it just goes to show that everything there was stupid. No, you want to do something smart. Find a chick that you love, that you're like, you find that they're beautiful inside and out. Marry them and have as much sex as you want with them because they're your wife, and you got that on a daily. Like, let's just be real here. You got that on a daily, unless they ain't feeling good or whatever. I even joked about having like a prenup for those wives that want to like stick it to the husband, or the wife can have it with their husband or whatever. They're like, no, I know how to get him. Keep him in the doghouse. He ain't getting done for a long time. It's like, nah, don't do that to your husband or to your wife. It's just cruel and unusual punishment. Unless you're like ill or you just went through surgery or whatever. and life isn't about sex. I understand that, but to do something like that, like you, we did things properly. We got married, and now we're having sex because we're married. And yeah, I can get off on that subject big time, but it just it's just nuts to me because I ran into guys like that in the Navy all the time. Man, I was so wasted last night. I think I was with like three goats, and I can't remember that. Like seriously, dude. Honestly, oh man. But anyway, it's a lot more beautiful, and you'll be a lot more blessed if you just hold off until marriage. If you haven't held off to marriage and you're not a virgin anymore, well, then it's time to re-virginize, get right with the Lord, and do it right the second time. Because in a sense, he cleans you back up, and you become renewed and awed by your renewed and rebirth into the sexual part of life. So yeah, I'll overthink stuff sometimes, guys. You have no idea, and I'll be like, that's why I think it's beautiful when two virgins come together and they know nothing but each other. They do it God's way, and it's just sex is literally like beyond beautiful because they only know each other, and they're extra blessed because they're actually following God's plan and they're doing it the way God asked them to do from the start. See, and of course they're not perfect in other areas, but in that they kept it right, right? So, and hopefully they are. But I'm just saying that it just it's. I think life is more blessed when you're just following God's word, when you're following Him from the get go, and just if it's not from the get go, you're just following Him. You're like, okay, this is a rebirth. We got to start all over, but we're gonna stay we're gonna stay the straight and narrow now. We're not just talking; we're gonna do it. Talk is cheap, right? So just be about it, and you'll be forever blessed in ways that you don't even know. Like we're blessed, we're majorly blessed. So I'm looking at an hour and a half here, guys. I'm going to try to speed this up. If you don't have wood, your fire goes okay. Cold blows. The words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty. Okay, warm words that come from the evil heart are like shiny pain on a stove pot. That's the one we're rolling because I was talking about the guys that would tickle other people's ears just in order to get into a girl's pants or get money out of people or just use people. You know, that's just what they are. They seem like they're good. They seem like it's all good. That's why a lot of people got trust issues nowadays too, because other people take advantage so much. And it's like, okay, like don't approach them thinking that they're gonna not trust you. Just be the better example and know that they're probably gonna trust you. But if they're not, offer them an extra, um, offer them an extra reminder that hey, I am trustworthy. You can trust me. Hold my car while I'm borrowing this amount of money. You know, hold on to this while I'm borrowing that. Whatever it might be. Like I literally did that. With coworkers at Amazon, I think they're like, "Yo, let me borrow your blade." I'm like, "Okay, uh, let me see your pen or your glove while you borrow the blade." So that way, I know I'm going to get it back, and just go about it like that. So, someone who wants to, or just be fine if they don't bring it back. Don't get. Just be prepared not to get pissed off, and be truly honestly. Just act like you're giving it away or something. Someone who wants to hurt you uses his words to hide his hatred. Someone who wants to hurt you uses his words or uses their words to hide their hatred. So they're gonna act like they're all nice and innocent. Like we can relate that back to the last verse too. They're gonna act all shiny, all good and everything. And when it comes to it, they're just gonna sting you like a serpent. They're gonna attack, and that poison's gonna slowly. Yeah, it's no good. Um, so they hide their hatred for you. But his heart is full of lies that cover up his evil plans. So yeah, he doesn't have any good plans for you. Just be aware of these things. What a person says can be charming, but don't believe him. 7 things that God hates can fill that person's heart. Hatred can be hidden by lies. There is that for a second time. This is verse 26. See, 24 says, someone who wants to hurt you uses his words to hide his hatred. 26 says, hatred can be hidden by lies. but what is evil will be shown to everyone. So you can't hide from your sin. It's going to show itself. A tree is going to be known by its fruit. So just be aware of that. Hatred can be hidden by lies, but what is evil will be shown to everyone. So that true evil, that true rotten pit of evil will be, it'll come to fruition. It will come to light, right? So darkness will be found out. If anyone digs a pit, he will fall into it. If he rolls a big stone, this is verse 27. If he rolls a big stone, it will roll back on him. If anyone digs a pit, he will fall into it. If he rolls a big stone, it will roll back on him. So yeah, if you're, I don't know who that is. So if you're digging a pit, you're digging a trap for somebody else. Just be aware that you might fall into the trap yourself. You have no intentions toward others and all this other stuff, but it'll most likely come back on you. That's why I'm like earlier when I said, if you curse a person, be careful with who you do that to, because if you talk to God about them and it happens, or he knows your heart and he's all like, okay, you're meaning bad for this person. I might turn this around. Like, you never know what that person's going through, right? So you gotta, but if it's like truly evil, and what I was relating to a bully at school or something like that, then they need to be found out. They need to be spanked. They need to be corrected so they can get a clue and into thinking, okay, this actually isn't right. This isn't the way to go about anything. So that's what it's saying. It's like, okay, you build traps for other people, you're gonna fall back into it. Look at the guy who he tried to tell and set up somebody. It was Ruth's uncle, right? And it was the guy that built the gallows so he could get his position. But they found him out, and he actually hung on the gallows that he built for the other guy. But he was trying to convince the king of these lies with this one guy, and it wasn't true. So yeah, I think it was Ruth. It might have been someone else, but she was like the queen. She was the queen, and it was a big thing. I actually have a movie on it. So she was the queen, but he didn't know that she was like an Israelite. She was an Israelite. You know, she's like, yo, can my uncle work for me and stuff? And then he was a good worker, so he moved up, and then this other dude came along and just full of lies, tried to deceive here and there, and he got found out, and he hung rather than the next person trying to hang, which was innocent. That was the uncle. If anyone digs a pit, he will fall into it. If he rolls a big stone, it will roll back on him. A tongue that tells lies hates the people it hurts. A tongue that tells lies hates the people it hurts. So this is a lot about the people that truly hate other people, and they're just setting up traps for them. So if you're lying about something, or you're lying to somebody about something, and you're hurting people, don't do that. You know, be honest with them, get it out, get it over with. Like when you have a scab and you're going to take it off, rip it off. Don't just like slowly and just have it painful all the way through. No, you want to take that thing right off, just like a Band-Aid, like wax, whatever. Just rip it right off. And I feel guilty about that because, like with my past relationships with exes, I didn't think of it as a bad thing, but I was warned not to do it, and I didn't really get on that level of seeing why. And one girl told me a long time ago, but I guess it just in one ear out there. I'm like, okay, if that's why you look at it, but yeah, your exes they might still have feelings for you, or you might have still feelings for them, and those things spurn back up when you're around them and stuff. Now, if you both can be professional and be friends, I say go for it, but it's a dangerous territory. Most likely, feelings are going to pop back up. So you got to cut them off, or just keep them at a distance, or something of that nature. I just lost my place, so I'm sorry about that, guys. Proverbs 26. And we were in. I don't know exactly what verse we're in, but I know what part of the page I was at. So I'm more of a visual kind of person. Hatred can be hidden by lies, but what is evil will be shown to everyone. If anyone digs it, okay. A tongue that tells lies hates the people it hurts, and words that seem to praise you destroy you. They're just telling you what you need to hear until you, and that's it. Like, I see this like the mafia just popped up to mind, right? So there was one that John Travolta just did, and he played along. He made it seem like everything was cool, and he played the character good. But in the end, he got the whole posse in order to go after the main boss because the main boss wasn't doing anything. He didn't do any time in prison, so they didn't think he respected that position. He wasn't being active and doing anything, so he didn't think he deserved that position. But he put in the time, so he was in that position. Well, they put a hit on him, and that came to mind when, because John Travolta's probably there acting all cool and everything, saying everything's good. I'd be better in there than you, but he's not saying that. He's just playing like everything's cool. I'm gonna ride along, and then next thing, put a bullet through your head. Not even me. It's gonna be the guys that are under me going to do the hit, and you can't claim it to me because I was somewhere else at the time. That's how mafia works, right? That's why, thank God, I'm not part of the mafia or ever was crazy enough to get into it, because it's all bad. It's the same with being ISIS, cartel, or anything like that. Well, I had no money. I had to support my family somehow. I'd rather them die of starvation than being like chopped up right in front of me because I didn't deliver somebody's drugs or something. I'd rather us pick food out of the garbage can and feed my family with that rather than seeing my family chopped up or their head blown off right in front of me because I didn't deliver drugs to these guys that are just puppets for Satan. They're puppet master. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the Bible study. I was wearing this not to show it off. I'm actually trying to like sell stuff. I used to collect blades, so I want to do a TikTok with this one too. I just found this, but I'll like sell this for 30, and the chain I'll sell it for like 10. I just need to make some money on top of what I'm working at because I'm not with Amazon yet, so I'm not making that much money. I'm still at 13 bucks an hour, and I'm having trouble, paying rent. So um, I don't want to just ask for money. I want to earn it. And I think I could do that by selling stuff. But I'm going to put most of this stuff on offer up. But yeah, a lot of this stuff it's just for scare tactic. And I like art. So I like literally the creativity that people put into this just to make it look unique. Like this one right here, you got holes. It's nice and swift right here. You got the hand grip and it's metal. So you put it like that right there. And if robbers coming in, they see you with this, unless they got a gun or something like that, they're probably going to think twice about going any further. So Crocodile Dundee has this part in one of the movies, and he says this guy's trying to hold him up in New York with this little switchblade. He said, "Dundee, give him the money. He's got a knife." He's all like, "My no. That's not a knife." And then he pulls out his Bowie. "That's a knife." And he's like, and the guy's like, "Oh," and he runs away. So I just thought that'd be funny. And I was looking for this one. I made it. I think I made it. No, I haven't made it yet because I had another knife, but it's a knife from Pakistan. It's a crazy looking one. It's a curved blade, but it's not as big. I was going to use that one, but I wanted to find this one. So I'm happy I found this one. And sometimes these things, depending on what season in life you go through, they're better if they're put away. It just, yeah. For those that have suicidal tendencies, you know what I'm talking about. Don't have anything around you that even piques the idea. I mean, even if you have to have friends stay with you, or go out and check up or be out more than you are in, or literally tire yourself out so you just come home and pass out, so be it. But yeah, don't surround yourself with stuff like that if that's an issue at the time. Yep. Anyway, guys, you guys have a blessed day. Thanks for checking it out and laughing, Keith. But yeah, hopefully I get to hang out with some of you guys. But yeah, for instance, Keith Martin, right? He's been my buddy for a while. I could trust him with a business because he's trustworthy. I've been his friend since Amazon, and we go to the same church and everything, and he's a Christian as well, so I wouldn't have any problem trusting him. But he even told me about like coworkers that he coworkers that weren't doing their job, and he was like, what should I do? And I'm like, dude, if you don't do it, then they're just gonna walk all over you. So you don't want to do it like that. You definitely want to report that crap. And don't get me wrong, it's not called snitching when you're looking out for yourself. If somebody, I like go to the extremes when it comes to this kind of stuff because it's just retardedness. Like, you gonna snitch on me? Yeah, if I didn't snitch on you, I would have got killed. Literally. Like, come on, dude. Where's the common sense at? Of course. Um, so it's like, are you a snitch? Sure, I'm a snitch. If it makes the area that I'm around a safer place, and it gets me more money for, you know, it gets me more money for, like, for instance, Crime Stoppers. They'll give you, supposedly, if they catch a drunk driver, somebody's like literally acting all crazy and they're going back and forth. That's why I want to get a dash cam, because the other day, I don't know if this person was drunk, literally that close to the person that was right there, and I was almost involved with the accident, because if they would have hit them, they would have tumbled back most likely and would have hit my van. But they were just zipping in and out of traffic, and this is California for you, especially California. I know a lot of people like, yeah, I dealt with that in Houston or Texas or North Carolina or what have you. Yeah, but California, it's nuts. And people think I'm even more nuts because I want to get a bike, but we can still split lanes over here. So I run away from traffic, or I stay behind it, one of the two. But I try to, if I have to deal with it, I'm very aware of my surrounding. I expect when you go out there and you're on a bike, especially in California, and even with a car, just expect everybody to be idiots. I mean, just be very visual. Yeah. So I wish I would have had a dash cam, because if I would have definitely reported that to authorities. Been like, this person's driving crazy and they're in their stupor and they're not even aware of it. So you, like I said, if somebody's doing stupid stuff or talking in a stupid way, don't be afraid to talk to them personally. And like, you hear what you're sounding like, you know what you're talking about. Can we talk about something else? Because this crap is just a rotating crap circle that I don't want to hear about no more. No offense, but yeah, I hope I'm helping you out with this. So, and to tell you the truth, you're helping them out. They're like, Ryan, you'd snitch on a drunk person? Yeah, especially if it could save the lives of people. Come on, guys. Like, I'd rather snitch and save people's lives rather than not and let them die. And you get rewarded for it too, supposedly. I've got to try it sometime. I had to go through a class because, unfortunately, after a mixed drink, I had a DUI back in 2015. Satan came to me right after a mission trip and hit me with bam, bam, bam. And it was the ninth, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and have a good time, but with, what do you call it? With moderation, right? I'm not going to overdo it, not anything like that. Went to the casino, made some money, went back home, had a mixed drink. I'm like, man, this might be my day. I got to get back in that casino and see if I can get some more money. Had one mixed drink. I'm like, I'm fine to drive. I was speeding, and the speeding gave me away. And I seen the cop, so I tried to pull off real quick, kind of lose him. And of course, I denied it when he came up. And I don't know why. I should have pleaded the fifth, but I didn't. I get nervous and stressed out when it comes down to dealing with cops and stuff like that. I shouldn't, because a friend of mine, and she's crazy at times, but she's all like, she like, why do you get nervous? If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't be nervous and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, she got a point there. But I just sometimes I'll get nervous around them. But there's certain states I've driven through, like they just went on their guard. And I know I'm getting off subject here or falling this bunny rabbit, this rabbit hole. But they just started their shift and I was driving through, and they were right on people's tails, just waiting for them just to go 1 mile over. It was like 35 through there. You could tell they were about it. They were just trying to get those tickets out so they could make their quota for that day or whatever. But I'm like, dang, they weren't kidding about watching out for this area. That's nuts. But yeah, I definitely advise people to have dash cams and stuff, especially in California. And if you can have them somehow, I guess you can get a GoPro and put it on your bike if you have a bike, just to make like cool videos, and also to catch people in their stupor if they're on the road. You can't lie against a video, right? I mean, I'm sure people can tweak that in a certain way, but it's hard. So when you have visual evidence, there's no fighting that. And you might be actually helping people. And you, if you report it to Crime Stoppers and they make the arrest, you check back up with them. Supposedly they get a reward. I need to get back on that because that's good money. It's literally $1,000 a catch. It's going to cost the person that's getting caught a lot more than that, depending on what they have to do. But you got to let them know that they're, once they get, like, after I got that, I hardly drink now at all. I'm not going to say that I don't. Right after I was stupid with it and I got pulled over again, but I didn't have that much drink and I was just stubborn at that time. I was being stupid, and the guy pulled me over for the tent, or I was asking him about a tent ticket and all that stuff. So I denied it, and yeah, thank God that didn't happen. But it was God's reminder: hey, this isn't the life for you. You need to. This isn't the best way to go about things. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. Y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day, whether you're going to work or whatever you're doing. I appreciate you watching. If you want to talk to me or anything, please do message me. YouTube, you can message me or you can follow me or put something on there and I'll answer it through that. But if it's a Facebook, I ask that you just message me through Messenger. If you don't have Messenger, then comment and I'll answer it that way. But or just text me if you guys have my number. If you don't, message me and I'll get it to you. Let's see. I'm the right now. My number is the one ending in 6308. If you guys think you have my number, but you might have my old one, which was 9961. So my new one ends in 6308. If you want to text me or call me in that manner. You guys have a good blessed day. Thanks for watching.